I find this absolutely ridiculous, and probably illegal, and hopefully this isn't the last we hear of this. So, fitness influencer Natalee Barnet attacked online for refusing to allow trans women into her female-only gym after U-turning and saying, of course they are welcome. So, I mean, of course people are going to be disgusted at this because banning trans people... So this is in the UK, by the way, where we actually have legal protections to say that this isn't allowed. So if she simply owned a gym already and then was like, actually, I've changed the policy, trans people are no longer welcome. Well, that is legal, and hopefully it'll face a legal challenge. And it's completely ridiculous. And how would you police that? And it makes no sense. All of which we'll come on to. But that isn't just what happened. She actually crowdfunded the money to open this gym. And in the whole build-up to when she was crowdfunding this money, was saying that it was inclusive, safe for all women. And then after getting the money and like starting, I don't think it's open yet, but like committing to opening it up, has then since changed her mind. So loads of people, it says here, when Barnet, who boasts combined 2.5 million followers on social media, first started raising funds for the space in 2021, she indicated that it would be open to trans women. 4 years later, and with over £22,000, or basically 23,000, raised by GoFundMe, she has backtracked on her initial objective, stating that the gym is no longer trans inclusive, and will be safe space for biological women. Trans women are biological. All trans people are biological because they aren't robots. Anyway, so she, like, I don't know, lied or has missold what she was going to do, or like, who knows whether she's just changed her mind or whether she was planning to do this all along and knew that she would get more money if she supported more people. It's hard to know. In the UK, I couldn't possibly give my real opinion on that without risking being sued. But yeah, I mean, if you donated to this thinking it was going to be good, and then she's revealed that actually it's going to explicitly target people like you as second-class citizens, then you would be right to be angry. I think it's completely disgusting. I mean, that alone, I think, should be like legally actionable. People should be able to get their money back. But also, in the UK, you can't just blanket ban trans women from anything. So hopefully it will face a legal challenge in that regard too. She even said, I don't see trans women as trans women, like completely nonsense statement. But she says, I see trans women and women. What? And if you identify as a woman, then of course you're welcome. It just seems like meaningless liberal nonsense. She should just say it's open to all women. As she is. But it's actually the motivations for her claimed, like, what she claims her motivations are like really grim. So she says, she says, previously told how her negative experiences at the gym led to the development of her business idea. Okay. Staring, mansplaining, being touched, having my space invaded, and feeling intimidated. Women deserve to be in the gym as much as any other person, she said. Yes, and that is exactly why it's disgusting that you're banning trans women, because, of course, we face all of this stuff too. Like, what are you talking about? In what world do trans women are magically immune for these things? I also experienced sexual assault inside the gym when I was 18 years old. That is horrific. I'm really sorry to hear that. But I mean, so do trans women. I've never been sexually assaulted in the gym, but I haven't gone to the gym many times. I've only recently started going to the gym this year for the first time, my 35th year on the planet. But I've been sexually assaulted multiple times in other places, in public places like the pub and music venues and on the street. I mean, of course, I think, I don't know if most women have, but certainly most trans women have been sexually assaulted. 2/3 of trans women in the UK have been sexually assaulted. And this is why it's just like so infuriating. Like, you say, oh, the entire purpose of my gym is literally to combat sexism, sexual violence, intimidation, based on like misogynistic attitudes. And now we're banning some women from it. We're banning some of the women who are most likely to be targeted by that. It just seems so ungenuine and derogatory, and like she just either doesn't think that trans women, like, is just completely delusional and doesn't think that trans women are the targets of those things, or doesn't care at all and is saying, oh, well, you know, the whole point is I'm empathizing with other women because I don't want them to experience what I have, unless you're trans, in which case get fucked. Like, that's disgusting. And then down here is definitely saying experiencing sexually assault when I first joined a gym is absolutely harrowing. I should never have had to gone through that. Exactly, no, you shouldn't have. As a result of her experience, she joined a women's only fitness club, but found most were too small and had inadequate equipment for her training needs. Women's only spaces inside a gym are very malnourished. She said they don't consistently follow the narrative that women can lift heavy, that women don't want to lift, and they're just there to lose weight. Like, how does any of this not apply to trans women too? This means in order to be away from harassment and intimidation, I now have to limit my own capabilities, which I think is wholly absurd. I just don't know how people can say this stuff out loud and then turn around and say they want to do exactly these things to other people. Like, how when you say, oh, I need a space free from sexism and that provides adequate equipment so I don't have to, like, self-exclude and limit my own capacities. But I want all of that to be taken away from other people who are just like me but different because they're different, and I want them to have to limit their capabilities. Oh yeah, it's just so grim. It's just so, like, lacking empathy for other people. I just don't know why, as soon as someone's like one little bit different to you, is it like, I mean, it's exactly the same as the scare from like the previous moral panic, which is about gay people, where they're all trying to say all this stuff about lesbian women. Just how do people not have empathy for people just because they've got one slight difference about them? Like, just a difference in history. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, this article goes on forever. To be fair, on the Daily Mail, it did actually include some of the comments and include some commenters. So they covered some of them here, saying, to every trans woman who donated or supported this endeavor, I'm sorry you were lied to. Trans women are women, and your desire to exclude them speaks loudly that you still see them as men. I don't think that's true. I think most of the time, transphobic people almost always they don't see trans women as men. They say they do, or they use that as an excuse to take away our rights, but they don't act towards us like they act towards men. There's a very strong difference in the way they act between us. Women should be able to be protected no matter how they show up. If you want to create a safe space for women, create a safe space for all women, and recognise the alarmingly high rate of violence that trans women face at the hand of men every single day. True. Of course, they then got a quote from Sex Matters, anti-trans hate group. Like, this whole thing is just tedious. Some followers dubbing her decision as transphobic. Now, I understand why newspapers have to put this in quotes. I mean, the Daily Mail's going to put it in quotes anyway, because the Daily Mail is generally anti-LGBT and anti-women. But in the UK, if I was to just say, I think this person is transphobic, then potentially they could raise a load of money and drag me through court for years and years and require me to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds. Even if what I said was true, it would still cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. And when there's multiple transphobic billionaires funding the anti-trans movement, they have like unlimited money. It will cost the person doing that nothing in comparison. They wouldn't be dragged through the media. So it's just not worth it. So I just wouldn't say something like that. I couldn't know at all possibly whether this person is transphobic or not. But what I can say in the abstract is that anyone opening a gym for women in order to minimize sexual assault, who then picks a subgroup of women who are more likely to experience sexual assault and bans them, then they're bigoted towards that group. And if that group is trans people, then it's transphobic.